Have you ever felt like the more you try to be spiritual, the more disconnected from life you become? Have you found yourself wondering if true spiritual growth requires retreating from society, avoiding conflict, or suppressing your desires? Or maybe you've been taught that real practice means leaving behind your passions, your personality, even your identity. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to strip away the myths and illusions surrounding spiritual growth and look directly into one liberating truth. Real spiritual practice doesn't take you away from life. It brings you back into it, more fully, more consciously, and more authentically than ever before. For too long, many people have misunderstood spiritual growth as a kind of personal vanishing act, a process where the goal is to erase your ego, renounce your humanity, and escape into some kind of sterile, transcendent stillness. But what if the truth is far more empowering? What if the deepest form of spiritual evolution is not in withdrawing from the world, but in finally choosing to live from your own truth? Let's start with a simple but powerful question. Who are you living for? If we are honest, most of us spend a huge portion of our lives living for other people, their approval, their validation, their expectations. We live for our parents' standards, our culture's definition of success, our peers' judgments, and our inner critic's impossible ideas. And in the name of being good, being responsible, or being spiritual, we lose touch with what's real inside us. We numb our instincts, we silence our desires. We perform the role, hoping it will lead to peace. It doesn't. It leads to exhaustion, resentment, and a deep, quiet ache that whispers, this isn't me. So what if the first real step of spiritual awakening is this: to stop betraying yourself? Not to become selfish, but to become sovereign. Not to abandon others, but to stop abandoning yourself. Not to rebel mindlessly, but to rise consciously into the truth of who you are and the life that calls you. Let me tell you a story about a woman named Anna. For years, Anna was the perfect daughter. She took care of our family, married the man our parents liked, got the job that made them proud, and even followed a religious path because it seemed noble. On the outside, she was kind, humble, and respected. But inside, she was invisible, even to herself. One day, she was attending a retreat. During a quiet moment, the facilitator asked everyone to write down a truth they had never dared to say out loud. Anna hesitated, and, with shaking hands, she wrote, "I want to be free. I don't want this life." Those 9 words changed everything. For the first time, she allowed herself to tell the truth, not just to others, but to herself. She wasn't ungrateful. You wasn't heartless. You was just done living a borrowed life. You wanted to feel alive, not just useful. You wanted to follow her curiosity, not just fulfill her obligations. And so, slowly, Anna began to change, out of rebellion, out of reverence. She took up painting again, not to impress anyone, but because color made her heart sing. She spoke honestly with her husband, not to hurt them, but to reclaim her voice. She left her corporate job, not to escape work, but to find work that felt meaningful. She didn't become a monk. She didn't run away from the world. She just finally began living in it, as herself. That, my friends, is what real spiritual practice looks like. It's not about denying your body. It's about listening to it. It's not about suppressing your desires. It's about understanding them. It's not about pretending to be peaceful. It's about learning to sit with your chaos until it teaches you peace. And it's not about becoming someone else. It's about remembering the truth of who you already are, before the world told you who you should be. There's a term in spiritual philosophy, returning to the marketplace. It refers to the idea that the highest spiritual path is not retreating from the world, but returning to it, with awareness, with compassion, with truth. You don't need a cave to find God. You need presence. You need courage. You need honesty. Imagine waking up every day not asking, "What should I do?" but "What is true for me right now?" Imagine building a life not based on obligation, but alignment. Imagine success not defined by status, but by soul. This is not fantasy. This is possible, but it begins with one brave question. Where have I been lying to myself in the name of being good? Where have you said BS when your whole body screamed no? Where have you smiled to please others while your spirit withered inside? Where have you dimmed your light because someone else was uncomfortable? These are not small betrayals. Over time, they become prisons. And then we wonder why we're anxious, depressed, resentful, or numb. The truth is, every time you betray yourself, you strengthen the false self, the mask. And every time you tell the truth, you nourish your real self, the soul. So what does it mean to practice spiritually in the real world? It means showing up as you are, not as the ideal version of you, but as the evolving, messy, sincere version. It means setting boundaries that honor your energy. It means walking away from what drains you and walking toward what calls you. It means creating, not just consuming. Listening, not just talking. Breathing, not just rushing. Loving, not just sacrificing. It means no longer asking, what do they want from me, but asking, what does life want through me? You see, you are not here to play role. You are here to be real, to be awake, to be free. And freedom doesn't mean chaos. It means clarity. Freedom doesn't mean doing whatever you want. It means doing what is right for your soul. Freedom doesn't mean abandoning your responsibilities. It means showing up with authenticity, not resentment. So there's the paradox. The more you lie for yourself, the more you have to give, because you are not giving from guilt, or giving from fullness, from truth. Let me close with this. The path of awakening is not about becoming better. It's about becoming more you. And the world doesn't need more perfection. It needs more presence. It doesn't need more saints. It needs more real people who are rooted in truth, lit by purpose, and brave enough to be themselves out loud. So wherever you are in your journey, take heart. You don't have to become someone else. You don't have to escape your life. You just have to wake up within it. See clearly, love deeply, truthfully. That is enough. That is powerful. That is sacred. Thank you for watching this video. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs it. Leave a comment. What's one way you are choosing to live more authentically starting today? And if you'd like to support this work, subscribe, like, and consider joining our community as a member. Until next time, be you, boldly and unapologetically, because that, in the end, is the highest form of spiritual practice.
Before you leave, here's something special. In Buddhism, we believe that every encounter carries a deeper meaning. Would you like to discover your true soul connection, the one written into your destiny? Take the soulmate test today and unveil the hidden truths of your journey. Click the link below and begin your path now. http://soulmate. You wisdom more, come, white.